Hello, my name is Eneko Agirre, and I am really grateful to the government of Kerala for this invitation to give a short address about our experience on the development of regional large language models and the measures smaller regions can adopt to develop their own language models, where I'll share our experience for Basque. Let me share the screen. So I want to talk about large language models for underserved languages, and I'll give a practical view. I am the director of the 8th Basque Center for Language Technology. So as you all know, there are more than the large languages in the world, which includes more than 7,000. And in this Babel tower of many languages, there is a dump of the internet called Common Crawl, which indexes 160 of them. English is more or less about half of the internet, with Spanish following suit with 10 times less data, Finnish 10 times less data, and Basque is in rank 50 with approximately 1,000 times less data than for English. I checked for the language in Kerala, for Malayalam, and it's more or less on the ballpark of Basque. But of course, there's other languages with far less data. One thing which happens with these languages is that not only they have much less data than English, they also suffer from the lack of annotated data in the form of native instructions or preferences, which are required for language models to learn to behave like a chatbot, like ChatGPT does. It needs not only text, but also these native instructions or preferences. One could hope for large companies to build the language models of for our languages, but the truth is that, as we can see in this graph, even if the quality of these language models for languages other than English is increasing, like the yellow and red curves show, still the gap between English and these languages is still there. So for instance, the top one, which is English, the blue one, and then we have an average for between 2 and 20 languages. We can see that they are 12 times worse. And for the other languages in the 20 to 100 band, they are even 17% worse. This gap is significant, and there is no end in sight. So this could mean that the languages other than English will always suffer from a lower quality when using these language models. This might be a problem for languages like ours, Basque, because it's a second language in our country. In our country, we speak Spanish, which is the official language, and a minority speaks Basque. So it means that the language models probably will behave better in Spanish in the large languages than in Basque. So I took the liberty to check the quality for Malayalam compared to English. Here we have that for English, the best system is Gemini 3 Pro, according to this study, which I give the data below. And for Malayalam, the performance of the same language model, the one which is best for English, Gemini 3 Pro, it's 17 points lower. So there is a big gap between the performance of Gemini for these two languages. So then the question is, how can we obtain higher quality for these low resource languages? One solution could be to build one single model for all languages. So that would decrease the gap for all those languages, but this is elusive because the curse of multilinguality. Chances are that because of the fixed amount of parameters, that this is not possible. So every time we improve one language, it would be another language which doesn't improve so much. And it also requires an enormous amount of resources, which are only at the hand of giants like Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, or maybe big companies like Alibaba or DeepSeek. There's an alternative, which is more resource efficient, which is to take and adapt an existing large language model, an open one, like for instance, Llama, Qwen3, or DeepSeek, and target one specific language. Then the focus is on building a better system for that target language, maintain the multilinguality and the capabilities of the backbone large language model that we are going to adapt to our language, and to have a method which is applicable to any language. So this method would not only work for one target language, but for other languages. So as I said, I'll share our experience with Basque. We are a smaller country in Spain and France. Basque is a language isolate, no known relatives to other languages in the world, and it's more or less spoken by 1 million speakers. This is our national animal, the sheep. And as I said, we are going to build a scientific method to target on one single language. The hypothesis that we wanted to test is whether is it possible to adapt an existing open large language model with high performance to this target language. In the experiment that we performed and the method that we developed was based on Llama 3.1 that we chose as a backbone. We could use raw text in the amount of 100 billion words, which is roughly 4 billion tokens because of the tokenization for Basque. And as I said, we only have raw text. We didn't make any use of native preference or aligned data. And because this was a research paper, as this is a research endeavor, we had to devise a method to avoid the catastrophic forgetting. The answer is yes, and this is how we create our language model called Lacha, which is a tribute to Llama and the sheep, our regional sheep. This is the paper where everything is all the details are mentioned, including data, scripts, and everything necessary to reproduce the experiments, and also to apply this method to other languages like maybe Malayalam. I'm not going to explain the method, but I just wanted to mention that evaluation is difficult. So we did a language model arena where more than 1,000 volunteers were shown 2 answers to their request, and they had to choose between one or the other in a blind manner. So we gave them our best system, which is Lacha of 70 billion parameters, and they could compare it without knowing with Claude 3.5 and GPT-4o, which were the best ones at the time. And as you can see, we were able to draw Anthropic's 3.5, and we were very close to the proficiency of GPT-4o, which was the best at the time. This is an amazing result with led us to think that we could actually do something practical with Lacha. So this was not a scientific endeavor anymore, but something that we could share with our community and maybe have practical use in the industry and in the society. We also did a test with professionals, a blind test, where we gave them as the kind of test that you use with foreign students. So we made our language models to produce 10 essays, and they were judged by these professional evaluators. In GPT-4o, only 6 of the 10 essays were marked as valid, as being proficient for Basque. And in our case, all 10 of the 10 were able to pass the examination. And one of them was actually top 10, they received the top 10 score among 80,000 essays from humans. So in this endeavor, we learned several lessons. One is that our method is able to build a high-quality chatbot, as I said, using an open existing multilingual instructed LLM and using just raw corpus and non-native instructions, nothing else. And that it ended up being the best in language proficiency for Basque. As I said, this method can be applied to other languages and other backbones. Llama, the model we used, Llama 3.1, is now more than 1.5 years old, and there are better models like DeepSeek, Qwen, Jimmy K2, and we are actually applying our method to these new models, so they have the capabilities, the newer capabilities, like agents, reasoning, thinking mode that these models have. The ongoing work is that, as I mentioned, we shared our results with the Basque government, and we are going to set up in a few days a server which is going to be able to serve the Basque community with this open model. And we think this is key to improve the model for the local community, because we are going to have feedback and uses from our local community, and we'll be able to improve our model to their needs, not as a global model which has to serve many users in the world, but focusing on the needs of our local community. And also we are going to set up the same server so the local innovative industry can use our open model to develop and promote new products using these local open models. And of course, we are, as I mentioned, we are setting up our model with new backbones, so it's able to do retrieval, mixed with speech, be able to treat images, OCR, reasoning agents, etc. There are further benefits that our endeavor has given to our community. The first one is that we are joining a worldwide ecosystem of open models, which is by NVIDIA. This is not an isolated effort. There's a worldwide effort of building a industry around open models. So we are joining this industry with a leading model for Basque. And in the way, we also have built a very strong scientific team, which not only produces language models, but also produces research in top-notch conferences. And also this talent that we are helping to produce in our country should be able to build the next generation of local innovative products, which is very important to be able to compete in this world. So thank you for your attention. Me just care, and I'm really sorry I couldn't attend. It would be great if I was there to share these ideas with you, but feel free to contact me in the future.